Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bill Smith on behalf of auction.com. Welcome to our online par for Hudson, Bergen, and Union counties. These are assets that will be coming to sale next week in New Jersey's sheriff sales for these respective counties. I have about, 15, 20 assets we're going to go through today with my expert panel. So without further ado, Louis Leyva, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. Today, I want to give you some information on properties that are going to sheriff sale, what the evaluations are, how you can find out about title, and how to get yourself out of a jam if you find yourself in one by Joseph Gatchko. We're going to introduce ourselves, and that way you know who your panelists are. We're all expert in our fields. So I'll start all the way to my left with Joseph. Okay.
Hi, my name is Joe Gatchko. I'm an attorney in Westfield, New Jersey. I've been practicing law for 35 years. My areas of practice is primarily real estate, commercial, residential, short sales, depressed properties, foreclosure, sheriff sales. So hopefully we'll give you some information today that will be helpful.
Hi everyone, I'm Jim Thorpe from Jersey Stone Construction. I'm one of the owners. We're a full service contracting company. We can handle everything from the basement to the roof. We work with a lot of investors and homeowners. Bring your visions to reality. Thank you.
My name is Chris Petrosky. I'm here with Fortune Title Officer and Settlement Agent. We're a full service title company. We do a lot of foreclosure work. That's kind of our specialty. So this is kind of our niche right here. I'll be running you through some of these reports that we have, giving you an idea what's going on with the title of the properties.
Okay, and I'm Louis Leyva. I'm the broker, owner of Culture Estate. We specialize in foreclosure, real estate, distressed properties, anything along those lines. And today we're going to give you awesome presentation and help you navigate these waters. If it's your first time or season, you'll get a lot out of it. So let's jump into our first property. Okay. Our first property on the screen is 116 Falmouth Avenue in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Okay, so this is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath duplex, semi-attached. I believe this property is. The MLS states that it needs work and it has a semi-finished basement. This home can be resold for $180,000. The repair estimate on this particular property is $30,000. If you decide to rent it, the home can be rented for $1,350. Your return on this investment could be up to 29% on a flip and 8.43% on a hold. Now, I just want to remind everyone out there who's watching, some of these slides are not updated, so they will be updated later on today, and the information I'm verbally giving you is the correct information, not what's on the screen at this moment.
All right, and for title on these properties, on this property, this is actually kind of interesting, but there's not too much to worry about. The first thing I notice here is that the first mortgage being foreclosed on is actually a smaller mortgage, just $36,000, as opposed to the second mortgage, which is $219,000. So that's something you may want to get a transfer on to make sure that they actually are foreclosing on the first lien and not the second lien, because if they don't name and serve it correctly, you could get stuck with that $219,000. Doesn't happen often, but it's something you need to watch out for. And the second thing you're going to hear me say constantly over and over again is check for taxes. The estimated property taxes on this property are $4,517. So if they're open and you buy it at sheriff sale, you are liable for back owed taxes. So make sure you call and find out what's owed on the taxes.
My information on these properties are usually from the street view, as I have no access to the property. So all my evaluations are what I can see from the street. The siding on this house was in average condition. It had wood trim that looked to be in decent condition. The front porch roof is in average condition, but the main roof wasn't visible from the street. The windows look to be older vinyl replacements in decent condition. And the porch railings are not to code and are going to need to be fixed.
Let me make one point further with the taxes. In addition to the taxes, when you call the town, ask them if they collect the water or sewer, because I just recently had a situation where a client called me and they bought a property and there was $23,000 worth of water, back due water bill on the property, which they have to pay because it's municipal. So you should call the town, check the taxes, check the water, check the sewer to make sure that what is back due, if anything. You should also ask, not only with the taxes, if there's a tax sale certificate, if any taxes have been sold. Next.
Our next property now is 133 Sabal Drive in Park Ridge, New Jersey. It's a nice split level home. Let's go ahead into our next screen. Okay, this property is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. It's in a great area. It's in great condition. As per the MLS in 2006, the taxes on this property are $11,794 a year. This home can be resold for $550,000. You may want to budget $60,000 for repairs. The rent range for this home is somewhere around $3,500 per month. And your fix and flip at these numbers would be at around 32% return on investment. Okay.
I actually didn't have any title information on this property, and I don't believe we were supplied any. But going back to what Joe said about the taxes and the municipal liens, it's very true. You really should call, find out if it is municipal or not, because if it is, a lot of times it is lienable. And we offer something called an investor search, which will give you, a present owner search and an idea of what's going on with the taxes and the any tax sale certificates that are open on the property. I'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, this house, the exterior of the house had vinyl siding that was in above average condition. The windows look to be newer vinyl replacement windows. The roof is a 3-tab roof in average condition, and the property overall was in well-maintained condition.
Next.
Okay, our next property now is 14 Morel Place in Garfield. This particular property is a multifamily. Let's go ahead and jump into our next screen and we'll find out more data. It's a 2-family with 3 beds, 2.5 baths. It has a finished basement, 2-car garage, and the taxes on this one are $6,759. I'm sorry. This one could be resold for about $325,000. The repair estimate is $45,000 on this one, and the rent on this one could be as high as $3,000 a month.
All right. And on this one, everything seems pretty good. There's a first mortgage on it. I would just call, check the taxes, check the municipal liens, make sure everything's in order.
Okay, the overall appearance of the exterior of this house was found to be in above average condition. Siding on the house looks to be new vinyl siding. Windows look to be new. All the sockets and no.
Our next property now is single family Cape Cod. This particular home is composed of 3 by 100. The taxes are $792 per year. This home is on the market as a short sale and it needs extensive repair as per the MLS. Okay, and this one can be sold for $275,000. Needs a repair budget of approximately $60,000. Rent range for this is about $2,200 a month.
I'm sorry, Louis, can we just make an announcement to the audience that First Equity Funding is not here today?
Sure.
However, most of these through First Equity Funding.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's see first mortgage on the property and just check your taxes.
The front of this house is a brick face in average condition. The front gable and sides are wood shake in decent condition with need of painting. The roof is in fair condition, may still be functional, but could use to be replaced for resale value. The windows are older wood and would recommend upgrading to energy efficient vinyl replacements.
There you go. All right, our next property, yeah. Next property on the screen, 206 Samel Avenue in Garfield. Let's go ahead and jump into our next screen. This is a two-family home. It looks like it's in great condition. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. It has a 2-car detached garage, renovated second floor as per the MLS in 2005 with a finished basement. This home can be resold for approximately $450,000. The repair budget is $50,000, and the rent range for this home is $3,600 per month.
All right, and everything looks to be pretty clean on this. Just make sure you check your taxes, make sure everything's up to date.
The exterior of this house was found to be in, looks like it was recently renovated and is in excellent condition. Brick and stone face on the front and right side bottom half of the house were in excellent condition. The rest of the house is new vinyl siding, and all the exterior trim is wrapped with aluminum. The windows are new vinyl replacements. The balconies and railings are composite in new condition, and the roof is a new timberline type roof.
Our next property now is 246 5th Street in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. This is a single-family home. This property is composed of 4 bedrooms, 2 and 2 half baths. The property size is 35 by 120. This home used to belong to a builder, so this home was built to spec, and it's really improved on the inside. It was totally renovated not too long ago as well. This home can be resold for $360,000. You may want to budget $50,000 in repairs in the event that it's not in good condition anymore. And the home can be rented for about $27.50 per month.
All right, and looks like there's a first mortgage open on this. Other than that, make sure you check your taxes, make sure you call and find out about those liens. Other than that, seems good to go.
This house, I did like the structure of this house. The exterior of the house was in well-maintained, excellent condition. The front porch is in above average condition with the decking in good shape, and all the concrete and stucco were found to be in above average condition. The roof is in decent shape. The siding is cedar impression type siding in above average condition. All the gutter, soffits, and exterior trim are in above average condition. The windows look to be new vinyl replacements in decent shape, and there was no visual signs of repairs needed to the exterior.
All right, our next property on the screen now is 282 Garibaldi Avenue in Lodi. This particular property is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. It's heated by oil as per the MLS in 2001. Has separate utilities, and the taxes are $10,689 per year. The home can be resold for about $325,000 after repairs. You may want to budget $55,000 for those repairs, and the rent you can get for this house is about $2,800 per month. Okay.
All right, and then on title, I see pretty much first mortgage and just taxes again. Make sure you call, check those taxes.
Yeah, the exterior of this house has aluminum siding, which was in average condition, we just need a paint. The roof looks like it was replaced recently and was in above average condition. The windows look like they were older and should be upgraded to new vinyl replacements. The front concrete and block steps are in above average condition.
Just remember, when you buy a home at a sheriff's sale with an oil tank, I can't tell whether this would be outside or inside, because I don't know how big the backyard is. Doesn't look like it would be in the front yard, that's for sure, if I'm looking at the picture. But just remember, you buy the property with whatever environmental conditions are stemming from any oil tank on the property.
All right, our next property now is 368 Drury Avenue in Gloucester. Okay, this home is composed of 1,822 square feet. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with an eat-in kitchen, detached garage. It needs a lot of work as per what the MLS states. Home is on a busy street as well, and the taxes are $9,291. The home can be resold for approximately $400,000. You may want to budget $55,000 for repairs, and your rent rate for this one's about $2,700 per month.
All right, on the title, we have a first, second, and third mortgage. So this is something you may want to get a search done on, transfer to make sure we get his name correctly, because there's a lot owed on the property. And other than that, make sure you check your taxes.
The exterior of this house is brick faced on the front, first floor with cement on the side, stuck on the sidewalls. The bricks need to be power washed, but they're in average condition. The dormers and gables had vinyl siding that looked to be newer and above average condition. All the rake boards and trim were wrapped with aluminum and above average condition. The roof is in average condition, but needed power washing. The windows look to be new vinyl replacements. Overall, the exterior of the house is well maintained.
Our next property now is 46 Sherwood Road in Dumont, New Jersey. Let's go ahead and jump into our next slide. Property is approximately 1,206 square feet. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, recently on the MLS as a short sale for about $250,000. It has hardwood floors and an attached 1-car garage. The taxes on this one are $9,014 per year. This home can be resold for $325,000. Budget at least $45,000 for repairs, and you can get as much as $2,500 for rent on this property.
All right, and we have a first and second mortgage on this, and like I always say, check your taxes, make sure everything's good to go.
The exterior of this house, the bottom half was brick facade with an average condition. The gable walls were wood shake in average condition. The roof is in fair condition, but probably reaches functional life and should be replaced. And the landscape could use some, and driveway could use some TLC.
Our next property is 57 Van Winkle Avenue in Garfield. It's a multi-family home composed of 1,544 square feet. This is actually a 2-family home, and it was listed on the MLS as a short sale recently. The property might be in a chromium contaminated area. I've never heard of such a thing, but sometimes these things are a problem, so you may want to look into that, or sometimes it's just a listing agent trying to get a better price on a home as a short sale. Either way, look into it, and the after repair value of this house is $250,000. The repair budget is $70,000, and the home can be rented for about $2,400 if you decide to go that route.
All right, on title, I got a first mortgage, and like always, make sure you check your taxes.
The exterior of this house had aluminum siding, which was in fair condition. You know, use some painting and maybe replacing if the neighborhood called for that. Could not view the roof from the street. The wood porch was in average condition with need of paint. The windows were older and should be upgraded to vinyl replacements.
Our next property now is 64 Van Buren Street on Little Ferry. All right, this is a nice style property. It's composed of 5 bedrooms, 3 baths. It's a mother-daughter. It's got a finished basement, updated kitchen, heating system, and hot water heater back in 2008. This home can be resold for $425,000. You may want to budget $65,000 for repairs and upgrades, and you can rent this home for as much as $3,200 per month.
All right, I see your first mortgage open on this property, and other than that, make sure you check your taxes.
The front of this had a brick facade in average condition, but it needed some power washing. The remaining of the house and garage has vinyl siding in above average condition. The windows are casement windows in good condition. The roof on the house is in fair condition, but I'd recommend replacing for resale. Garage door on house is in decent shape, but the door on the detached garage has a missing panel. And $65,000.
Sound about right?
About right, yeah.
Our next property is 79 Mutt Avenue in Teaneck. Home is composed of 1,108 square feet. It's 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Taxes are $8,210 per year. This is a short sale. It's currently on the MLS. It has a finished full basement, no garage. Taxes are $8,335 per year. Home can be resold for approximately $190,000. Budget $45,000 for repairs, and you can get as much as $1,750 for rent.
And I see it's first and second mortgage on this property. Other than that, like normal, just make sure you check your taxes.
The exterior of this house has aluminum siding, which was in above average condition. The soffits and rake boards are all in good shape. The roof is a new timberline type roof in above average condition. And the windows look like to be older vinyl replacements in good shape.
Our next property is 1042 Essex Avenue in Linden. This home is approximately 1,216 square feet. It's a single family home with garage parking and built back in 1987, located near St. Mark's Park. The taxes are $10,083 per year. Property can be resold for approximately $175,000. We want to budget $30,000 for repairs, and the home can be rented for about $1,825.
All right, on this property, I see a first mortgage. And other than that, make sure you check your taxes.
The exterior of this house is partial brick front with the rest of the house vinyl and all well maintained above average condition. Windows look to be in decent shape. The roof is an older 3-tab roof in average condition. Overall, the exterior of the house is average condition. There was no visual signs of needed repairs.
Our next property is 309 Maple Avenue in Linden. Home is approximately 920 square feet. It's a single family residence with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Obviously it has garage parking. Home is in moving condition and it has a new roof and newer appliances. That's per the MLS. And the taxes on this one are $8,079 per year. Home can be resold for about $305,000. We want to budget $50,000 for repairs, and you can get about $2,000 in rent for this property.
All right, and I see first mortgage open on this. Other than that, make sure you check your taxes.
Right, the siding on this house is vinyl siding in average condition. The windows look to be vinyl replacements in decent condition. Roof is a timberline roof in average condition. The front steps are in good shape. Overall, the exterior of the house is in average condition.
Okay, our next property is 434 Linden Avenue in Elizabeth. This is a multi-family house composed of 1,212 square feet. It's broken down as a 2-family with 6 bedrooms, 3 on each side, 2 and 2.5 baths. That's 1.5 on each side. It's a side-by-side style 2-family, so those are really popular. It has separate attics as well, and then it's located in a great part of town. The taxes are currently $9,870 per year. This home can be resold for approximately $305,000. We want to budget $50,000 for repairs, and the rent on this is at least $2,000 a month.
Okay, this might be my deal of the day.
Yeah,
I'm from Elizabeth, New Jersey, and I'm telling you, that's a quality asset there for purchase.
It's a good house.
And all I see on it is first and second mortgage. Everything else seems to be good. Just make sure you check those taxes.
Okay, this house has wood shake siding in average condition, just need paint. The wood trim was in fair condition, needs to be painted. The windows look to be older and may need to be replaced. The roof was in poor condition and the net needs to be replaced. The front brick and cement steps are in good condition.
Nice.
Okay. Next property on the screen is 530 Wells Street in Westfield. This home is composed of 1,660 square feet. It's a single family with a garage parking located near Wilson Elementary School. This is a good one. It's a nice town. How about the type?
Title looks good. I mean, we have first mortgage on the property. Other than that, make sure you check your taxes.
Above average condition.
It's at the end of the street.
It's not a Euclid.
Okay, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we had a little technical difficulties. I was just making a comment that the last asset we were talking about at 530 Wells Street in Westfield. Westfield is a very upscale neighborhood and community in Western Union County. This asset will sell at sheriff's sale, and I'm sure Luis and Joe can tell you that Westfield is one of the best communities in the country to live, and a great school system and community environment for sure, correct?
Yes.
So our next property is 55 Oak Avenue in Springfield. Cape Cod style home, 1,488 square feet. Let's look at our next slide. Okay, this home is composed of 3 bedrooms with 2.5 bathrooms. It has garage parking, multi-zone heating for air and heat, located in a quiet cul-de-sac neighborhood, so that's always a plus, and close to NYC transportation. This home has $8,823 per year taxes. It can be resold for $435,000 in good condition. The repair budget should be somewhere around $62,000, and you can rent this home for about $3,000 per month.
And title seems to be pretty clean on this one. There's really not much of history at all on this, and just make sure you check your taxes.
If the siding on this house was vinyl Dutch lap siding on the sides and front dormer with vinyl cedar impressions on the front in above average condition. The windows look to be older vinyl replacements in decent shape. The roof is an old 3-tab roof in poor condition and should be replaced. Front steps and railings are in decent shape. Side steps need some cosmetic repairs. There was no other visual signs of repairs needed to exterior.
Our next property now is 721 Locust Street in Roselle Park. It's a single sold in as-is condition. The taxes on this one are $11,422,000 per year. The after repair value is $325,000. You want to budget maybe $55,000 for repairs, and you can get as much as $2,600 per rent.
Title, all I see is a first mortgage on this. The only other thing I can say is possibly there's an HOA involved because there's a subdivision. What that pretty much means is you may owe some money to the HOA. So it really depends on the bylaws of the HOA. And on that note, also with condos, if there's condo dues due, you could owe up to 6 months. So make sure there's nothing here today. Be liable for up to 6 months of condo.
One second.
Go back. You want to repeat your comments again?
Okay. On this house, the exterior looks to have been recently renovated. The siding is a new vinyl siding with detailed scallop siding on the peak in the front dormer. The roof is a new timberline type roof. The windows appear to be new vinyl replacements. And overall, the exterior of the house was in excellent, well-maintained condition, and there was no visual signs of needed repairs to the exterior.
My guess is that there is not an HOA on this house.
Yeah, I wouldn't say.
From my knowledge of representing people from Roselle Park, I've never had an HOA there, unless it's a condo. Also, with the oil tank, I know it's in the, it says it's in the basement above ground. You just want to make sure When you buy the property, maybe just to scan it to make sure there's nothing under the ground as well.
Our next property, 797 West Scott Avenue in Rahway. This home is composed of 1,056 square feet. Let's go into our next slide. Okay, it's a single family home. Our house was built in 1942, located near Rahway train station. So that's a pretty good area. Its taxes are $6,070 per year. And this home can be resold for approximately $280,000. The repair estimate is $45,000 and the rent range is $2,200 for this one.
And title seems to be pretty clean. Got the first mortgage on this, so it seems to be it. And make sure you check your taxes.
This home is part of a duplex, and the brick face on the front of the house is in average condition. The side of the house is vinyl siding and above average condition. The windows look to be newer vinyl replacements. The roof is a newer timberline roof in above average condition. And the front steps are in good shape. There was no visual signs of needed repairs.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that will, so there's one more? Oh, okay, great.
Is that floral or floral?
Flora. Okay. Our next property is 941 Flora Street in Elizabeth. Okay, this is a two-family home, 5 bedrooms, 2 baths, has the potential to be a 3-family as per the MLS. I wouldn't bank on that. There is no parking on this one. It was bank owned at one point, so it looks like there's probably a lot of foreclosure rate in this area. The taxes on this one are $4,273 per year. Home can be resold for approximately $285,000. The repair estimate for this one's close to $50,000, and the rent you can get for this home is around $2,100 per month.
All right, on title, we have a first mortgage open on this. The only other thing I see here is there was a subdivision of the property back in 2004. So this property may have originally been larger. I'm not 100% sure. Other than that, make sure you check your taxes.
This property, when I was there, it looked like it was vacant, and the siding on the house is vinyl siding in fair condition, needs some minor repairs. The windows look to be older and could use to be upgraded to energy efficient vinyl. The front porch and railings and trim need repairs. The wood trim and fascia boards need repair, and the roof is in fair condition and may need to be replaced.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think that was the conclusion of the assets that we were to review today. We do have some questions from the audience that we're going to have our expert panel answer for you at this particular time.
Something happened with the big something.
Oops. Second.
Thank you. Okay. So our first question of the day is, are you responsible for penalty costs on the property? Not sure what you mean or the viewer means by penalty costs, but there are things that the buyer is responsible for, but not limited to. Joe, do you want to cover some of those things?
Well, when you're buying a property at a sheriff's sale, you're of course responsible for whatever back taxes there are that we talked about. You're responsible for municipal liens for water and sewer. When you purchase the property, you will have to pay what's called a realty transfer tax. That gets paid to the sheriff's department. And that's going to be based upon the value of the home that you're purchasing. Those are the costs that you'll have.
Okay. Next question we have now is, what are you looking for on a title search?
There's a lot of things you're looking for in a title search. That's a pretty loaded question. It really depends on what you're getting done. You know, to start off with, we offer an investor search, which is a present owner search. So it shows you all the liens that are against the property for that present owner. So from the person that's pretty much being foreclosed on, from when they bought it till current day. And on there, we're looking to see what's owed, if there's for a second, third mortgage, if there's any other liens on the property. And we do offer that at a pretty cheap cost, just to, you know, give you a little more information. From there forward, there's a lot more that goes on. There's a transfer abstract to make sure that the foreclosure is handled correctly. You have tides land searches. You want to make sure there's no, there's a whole bunch that goes into it. If you have more questions or a more specific question about that, you could always shoot me an email. My email is Greg, G-R-E-G, @fortunereo.com.
Okay, the other question that they also for you, Greg, is once you have a title search attached to the property, I guess they mean like sometimes there's like a brief little rundown like this.
Yeah.
Can you rely on that information, or should you have another search done?
Okay, so this information that I gave to you guys today was supplied by auction.com. We didn't actually do the search ourselves. So I can't really comment on the validity of this. It seems to be pretty accurate from what we did. What we'll actually do is do an actual present owner search, go back, look at every single lien that's on the property. So I hope that answers your question. Like I said, if you have more questions, you can always shoot me an email.
And when you're at the sheriff's sale, if there are two mortgages on the property, you want to ask them which mortgage company is foreclosing on the property. Is it the first or the second? You can ask that when you get to the sheriff's sale. You can also ask them if there's taxes, if there's municipal liens. You can go up to the front and speak to the sheriff's department or whoever is handling it and ask these questions so that you know for sure what's going on.
Okay. Next question is for you as well, Joe. What is the maximum rent increase for an apartment?
Well, there really is no maximum rent increase. It has to be what we call not unconscionable or so excessive so that the courts are going to find it to be too much of a load on a tenant. For instance, if you buy a property, the rent has to have some correlation to what your expenses are on the property. Now, you're entitled to make a little bit of profit, but if your expenses are $1,000, you're charging somebody $2,000 after you buy a property at a sheriff's sale in order to get the tenant out, the court could find that to be excessive. There are ways. We do, send notice of rent increase letters to tenants once we find out what the rent is, if we can find it out. But that has to deal with if you're going to try to evict somebody. And we can talk about that.
Second part of that question, Joe, is how much does it cost to get a person out? What are the fees involved, and how long does it take?
Well, if there's a tenant in the property, the tenant has the right, before you can even evict them, to stay there for 90 days by federal law. You can't evict them for 90 days. So what I suggest you do is if you want the tenant out, you are allowed to provide them with some type of payment in order to ask them to move. You can send them a notice of rent increase, and we would talk about what that would be. If it's an owner, you can file paperwork with the state of New Jersey to get what we call a writ of possession, to have the sheriff's department remove the owner, or you can actually file a lawsuit against the owner if they don't move. The cost, it varies. If you apply for a writ of possession, it's probably between $500 and $750. If you have to file a lawsuit against someone, you're probably looking closer to $1,000 to $1,500.
Okay. Next few questions I'll take, and they're more suited for me. How do you find out if a certain property is in a flood zone? Well, if you don't have access to doing these searches like Joe does or like the title companies do, you can just go on FEMA.gov and you can plug in the address there. They're a little hard to read, these maps, but you can figure it out if you spend enough time on it. So that should be pretty easy. There's other third-party websites you can use, but they're not free. You have to pay for them. So whatever you guys prefer to do would be fine as long as you're doing your due diligence. The other question is, how do you get sheriff's sale lists ahead of time? The only way you get the list ahead of time is by going on to that county's website for sheriff sales. So for instance, you would want to Google the phrase Union County Sheriff Sales and then follow the links until you see the listings of the properties coming up. And you can do that for any county. How do you know if you're bidding on a correct mortgage? That was already answered by Joe. You can simply ask, if you can call the attorney ahead of time, or you can ask the sheriff or the announcer the day of the sale. Just make sure you get there early. What is the basis of getting financing at an auction? So since our representative from First Equity is not here, I will speak a little bit on his behalf. For getting financing at an auction, you're limited to just hard money loans. Private funding is what some people prefer to call it. You can't get traditional loans for these because they require the seller to sign the HUDs and things of that nature, and they don't do that type of stuff. So you're limited to just hard money. And the way hard money works is normally they like to see you put in at least 20% of the acquisition price, And First Equity, they will give you 100% of the rehab costs, as long as the after repair value, as long as the loan does not exceed 65% of the after repair value. So those are the terms they like to lend on. Obviously, there are exceptions for people with more experience or people who have maybe a property that's in a greater location. So just, you can reach out to First Equity, you search them on Google at firstequityfunding.com. Okay, next question is for you, Jim. How do you come up with the estimated repair costs, and do your repair costs cover material and labor?
On the repair costs that they have on the website here, it's pretty much a formula of the area and what the comps are, pretty much the going rate in that area and what they think that my house might need. Now, to get a real cost, you want to have your contractor go in there and actually, because you can't see the inside of the house, so these are guesstimates on these properties. You know, you can view the outside of the house. If the outside of the house is in beautiful condition, well maintained, you could almost guess that they may have maintained the inside of the house the same way, and vice versa. It's the outside is trash, the inside may need a lot of work too. That's pretty much it.
Okay, so you're this would be a fair estimate, you would say, for these properties, as long as because a lot of these are going off of worst case scenario, what we can tell from the outside. Yeah,
pretty much. Most of the estimates they gave on the site are pretty. Looking at the outside, they're pretty fair estimates.
Okay. All right, so that pretty much concludes our pre-auction review for this afternoon. Once again, I'll let my panelists let you know how you can get in touch with Ben. I'll start with Joseph. Go ahead, Joe. You can close it out.
You can either call me at my office at 908-317-0500, or you can email me at jg@westfieldlaw.com. Thank you.
Again, I'm Jim Thorpe from Jersey Strong Construction. I can be reached on my cell phone at 908-720-2674, or you can find us on our website, Joe. It's www.jerseystrongconstruction.com.
Greg Petrosky, Fortune Title. You can just shoot me an email. That's really the easiest way to get in touch with me because I'm not always in the office. My email, once again, is Greg, G-R-E-G, @fortune.com. And you can shoot me an email. We do a lot of investor searches. They're relatively cheap. It'll give you a good idea of what's going on with property. We can kind of talk from there if you have more questions.
If you're interested in having Culture Estate help you navigate the waters of the sheriff's sales, just look us up on culture.estate. You can search our website and send us a message from there. Once again, it's culture.estate. Have a great afternoon, guys. Take it easy.
Okay, thanks once again, ladies and gentlemen, for participating in our pre-auction review. Our next pre-auction review will be for Monmouth, Middlesex, and Ocean counties next Tuesday, right here at Culture Estates at noon. By all means, look at the auction.com event calendar, auction.com/event calendar. You'll get all of the information on our free educational programs. Also, opportunities, assets, ladies and gentlemen, can be found at auction.com/investor opportunities. We'll also be having our live event April 12th at the Westwood in Garwood, New Jersey. I'll have my expert panel here for a live event. We had one just last week in Ocean County to a packed house of about 120 people, and they did an outstanding job. So by all means, come on down and participate. We also hope to have Joe and Luis participate in a lunch and learn next Thursday here at Culture Estates. If you're interested in participating in that, just email me at wsmith@auction.com. On behalf of auction.com, we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Good job, guys.